And I saw this clip and I said, you know what? I have to discuss this clip because I think that this embodies, wow, I had something else too. Wow. I'll show it to you guys another time. It was a clip of somebody doing exactly what their doctor said of trying to have the woman pay for her own food or whatever. I'm going to bring that to y'all another time. But this clip that I saw was, to me, it was very interesting and important because it showed me the mind frame of the young generation when it comes to marriage. And I'm going to just preface the clip with, once you start to study and study things spiritually, you understand the importance of marriage. And you understand the blessing that comes with it and the fact that this is how you raise the next generation. But on the flip side, if you just look at it from the statistics and things in the countries where they don't do it right, you would think that marriage is like the worst thing that anybody can ever do. And like he is, you can see that the young brother is confused and he's trying to figure out, why do people get married? He's asking people and everything. And so he hasn't figured it out yet. And so he decided to do a video on 5 different reasons why people shouldn't get married. And I looked at that and said, I have to address this so that if people are thinking, the young generation is thinking like this, then I'm going to give you 5 reasons straight from this on why you should get married. Okay? So let's do it.
Reasons why men are scared of marriage. 5 reasons why men are scared of marriage. Let's go. Number 1, weddings are expensive as fuck. The average wedding costs like 20 to 30,000. Who paying? I'm not paying. I don't got 20,000 just sitting around. Is your daddy paying? Is your mama paying? Because I ain't.
Okay, so let me just start with that. All right, number 1, he says weddings are expensive. This is the first thing. Weddings were not ever intended to be expensive. Each person is supposed to marry according to their means. Despite that, cultures around the world have adopted, and I think it's a trick of the devil, they've adopted this idea or this concept that in order to get married, you have to have all this money. All right, just let me ask you a question. During the times when people didn't have money, people always got married. It's not an issue of wealth and expenses, but everyone according to their means. Now, the smarter person, we'll see, the smarter person is the one who, even if they have all that money, they use that money in order to set up what they need for their life as husband and wife. But these cultures, they try to make you think you got to have all these expensive dishes, an expensive wedding and an expensive hall, expensive clothes, expensive garments. And then once you get married, you got to do this expensive honeymoon. And then when you finish all that, y'all coming and y'all struggling, and you can't blame anybody but yourselves because you fell victim to the plot. So my suggestion, and I can speak for Muslims, but I'm sure that it's like that across the board. As far as for Muslims, we're encouraged to take it easy when it comes to the dowry. Okay, it's not supposed to be something that's difficult. And so you have your cultures, even Muslims, they have their cultures. But I'm going to tell you what the Prophet himself said regarding that. Okay, he said himself, the best of marriages is that which is made easiest. And he said himself, the best of mahars, which are dowries, is the simplest. Okay, and he himself said, when a man wanted to get married, look for something, even if it's just an iron ring, to give the woman. Why? Because you want to give, which is back to what I was talking about before, about when you take a woman out. The nature of the man is he's the key. The nature of the woman is she's the lock. The nature of the man, he's the giver. Nature of the woman is she's the receiver. When everyone falls in their nature, everything works out because the man is taking care of his responsibility and what he got to do, and the woman feels secure and safe. And so you're able to open up or unlock that key to her emotions and to her heart because you're handling your responsibility. If you don't do that, then you're going to have, people might walk with it for a little while, but that particular innate nature, natural instinct that God put there is not being met. So everything is supposed to be according to the means. When you look at somebody or when you think of somebody and think about marrying, let's get into that another time. Let's get into that in the second part. But right now, look and think this should be made easy and the family should be involved. But the man should be the one that's responsible because you want the woman to look to the man and say, this man can take care of me. Now, what do I mean by family being involved? He just said, is your father paying for that? Or is your son paying for that? It's encouraged for families to help out because of the bonding effect of it. So in the Arab world, for example, you'll have one family they take care of, one side of the family will take care of the all the furniture and the wood, they call it, and the other one take care of all the appliances, the electronics of the matter. The whole point is that both families come together because it makes a bond there, and it makes something special, and it's easier for the two people getting married. The man still has to do his part and handle his situation. But the point is that in these days and times, people make things so hard that now you have the next generation, and they're looking and thinking, why should I get married? We're going to talk about why you should get married in a second, but I just wanted to cover that point first.
I ain't got the money. The honeymoon costs money too. I ain't got it. I just bought a PS5. Fuck you want me to do?
What is the PS5? Is it a game, something with games? Yeah, okay. So that was the one thing that I had to say that bothered me. And I said to myself, because I didn't go look up, I just saw the clip and said, I got to deal with this. I just bought a PS5 to me that says, and this is what I used to do when I counsel young men, marriage or relationship. Let's not even talk about marriage because people get scared about marriage. If you step into a relationship, understand that with it comes responsibility. Okay, the man is responsible to take care of the woman. Okay, so that means that you'll have to give up a little something of the things that you like, love, or enjoy, possibly, in order to handle your responsibility. Okay, now I'm going to put the scenario just like it is. The young man said he just bought a PS5. If it's a woman that he's really about and he wants to get married or have a relationship with this woman, which is only marriage as far as I'm concerned. Everything else is damned anyway. So if you want to have a relationship, then instead of playing on a PS, or instead of individual playing or investing in a PS5, they would say, for example, okay, I'm going to pawn this or sell it so I'll have some money and get something nice according to my means for this woman. And so I'm good. Okay, so my point is that the mind frame has to change, because I've seen this also. I can't even blame just the women's or the family. I have to blame the young men also. The men, they get into these situations and they don't want to give anything up. Okay, they want to talk and do this and be that whatever, but they don't want to give anything towards the situation. And you are responsible to take care of that woman and the children that come about. The woman, if she gets a job, even if she has money, reality is that that's her money. She can choose to do what she's going to do with it, but she's not the one responsible. Okay? If she gives, then she gets blessing for that, and it's great. But even with that, you're not supposed to base your situation on her, because what if she gets pregnant? What if she gets sick? What if she has the baby and has complications, and so she has to be out of work for that? Whatever the situation that happens, what are you going to do and look and say, well, what you going to do? Everything was based on the two-income family. No. Keep it on one income, even if it means you have to live a little under what you want to. Keep everything nice, keep everything clean, in your hands. You're responsible. And that way, when it comes down to it, she always gives you those eyes of a wife to a husband, because things are getting done based on your ability. If the woman ain't down for that, based on your ability, then maybe it's not the woman for you. Or maybe you should say, well, this is what I'm able to do. And if we can't do that, then fine. Let her step away and let her think about it. She'll think about it, and if you're really a good person, she'll go away and she'll think about it. And most, I'm not going to say all, but most women are going to say, it's more important to me that this man is willing to take care of what he can according to his means. I have some money. I can hold on to my money. I can help with him. But no matter what he's talking about, he want to take care of me because he loves me. To me, that means everything in the world. But I'm old school.
The wedding ring alone is going to bankrupt me.
Flip a ring, okay? Flip a ring. Do what you have to do as far as responsibilities, and give her a nice gift. But more importantly, say to her, look, I can get you this big ring if you want. I can give you a nice ring and invest the money that I would have used to give you that ring into something nice that's long lasting for us to benefit from. If y'all got a good relationship or a good situation, you'd be surprised. I mean, you going to tell them, I'm not keeping this money for me. This is the $5,000 or $10,000 or $15,000, whatever, $25,000 I was going to put on a ring. I can get it. But does it make more sense to us to do this and then a $20,000 honeymoon or a $10,000 honeymoon or whatever the situation is now, and then when we come back, we gripping? Or is it better for me to take this, put it in an envelope, it's here. Let's put it right there. And let's decide together what we're going to do with it. Something that's beneficial for us as a family. And I still get you a ring, but something that's reasonable. So when you look at the ring, you ain't thinking, I've got, no, you looking, you thinking this ring it signifies the love that this man is showing me. And I know that the rest of all of that is sitting right there, and he's showing me with that the things that we're doing to build a family. I mean, that,
Real shit. I got debt from college. Number 2, everybody around me tells me that marriage is bad.
I'm going to listen to this whole thing, and then I'm going to talk about this.
There is not one person I talked to yet that told me that marriage is good. Nobody, not the grocery store, the gym, nowhere that told me that marriage is a good thing. Real shit. Every OG I talk to, every man with experience tells me don't get married. Real shit. Even older women tell me to focus on me and not get married. I mean, what does that tell you? Number 3.
All right, so let's talk about that. Number 2. That was, honestly, that was heart-wrenching, I'm being honest. But it was disheartening also because that means the generational troubles of marriage has even the old heads, the ones who's supposed to have wisdom, giving these young people this type of advice. And it saddened me and disheartened me because of the fact that for a period of time in my life, I'm be straight up. Before I had a chance to go and study and read things in other languages and read and study and visit other places, I just thought, okay, you do it just because that's what God told you to do, and there's a blessing and there's a bond and this there or whatever. But what people don't understand is the reason why you get married is it is blessing, yes, but it's generational blessing because children, and y'all used to hear this before, but pay attention to me. I'm sure you heard the old school people, your grandparents, talking about the harm of having children out of wedlock, right? And it wasn't just some cultural thing, but the bond of marriage is something that's a blessed bond. And God legislated it in every scripture that he's ever laid down, okay? He did that because in it, you make lawful relations, intercourse, intimate time with someone as a spouse. And from that comes what? Comes children that have blessing on them. And the opposite is true. When you're running around having children out of wedlock and think that everything is okay, understand that if this is blessed, and with us as Muslims, we're supposed to mention God's name every time before we start to have intimate time with our wife. We're supposed to it's a supplication that says, in the name of God, I'm trying to translate in English, I'm sorry. In the name of God, oh God, keep the devil away from us and keep the devil away from that which you produce from this relation or from this situation, from this intimate time, okay? And even if you don't remember all that, you just say in the name of God, Bismillah, okay? And as a result, you're remembering that this is a blessing that was given to you. This matrimony, this intimate time, this was a blessing that was given to you that you can do this, have fun, and still get reward, because the prophet told us that you get reward for spending time with your wife. And they asked, you get reward for something that's so enjoyable? And he said what? He said, if you did it the wrong way, you would get sin, right? So just the same, when you do it the right way, you get reward. That's the crux of marriage, is to make sure that this desire that we have, that has been put in us innately, okay, that is used and carried out the right way. Okay, you have some people that just look down upon, and you can't look down upon intimate time. You're human, okay? All this celibacy stuff, like I said before, is no. But you have to do it the right way. And that means you have to be in a bond of marriage, okay? Now, I always tell people this, and you're living this, and I've seen even Christians talk about this. The nature of life is trial, okay? You're going to go through trial because trial makes you stronger. Like the old people used to say to us, what doesn't kill you make you stronger, okay? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So you not getting married, is that going to change something? No, it's not going to change anything. You're still going to go through difficulty. So why did you go through difficulty and at least have in your heart that you know you have the blessing of God while you're going through it, because you went out your way to do things the right way, instead of going through the difficulty and you have no blessing. As a matter of fact, you got the curse of the devil on you. You got the devil on you and the curse of God on you, because every time you laying down with this person, every time you spend time with this person, every time you hold the person's hand, kiss her, anything, you're doing it without proper contract with God. We are taught that women are the maidens of God. He's the one who gives you the permission to have them through lawful marriage. Anything else, you're crossing his bound.
3, divorce is expensive. I'm not playing. Divorce is expensive financially and emotionally. But let's talk about finances real quick. Lawyer fees, alimony, child support. Your bank account gonna be negative. Straight up negative. You gonna lose your kids too. Fellas, don't get it twisted. The kids going with the mom. Believe that. Number 4.
All right, so next thing. Wow. It saddens me, like I said, this whole situation, but let's deal with it, okay? Divorce, just like marriage, is not supposed to be an expensive thing, okay? But the issue with divorce is that because it usually happens in an emotional rage, people never deal. The devil works on two things. He works on emotions and desires, okay? Anger and desires, okay? And so the person is in a situation where they're angry, or the people are in a situation where they're angry. And instead of swallowing their pride, breathing in and out, getting themselves together within a few days and saying, okay, we're going to deal with this amicably, they go off in his rage, and the devil takes that rage and takes them all down all kinds of roads to make sure that they hate each other forever. Okay? It doesn't have to be like that. If you come together in blessing, then if things don't work out, you can separate in blessing. Literally, most people that get divorced, they're going to get divorced at a time when they're angry. But when you walk away, you're supposed to stop somewhere and think, or when they separate, I should say, and they separate and they're angry. But when you walk away, you're supposed to stop somewhere. You're supposed to say, if it's marriage, you can do this. I had a blessed relationship with this person when I stepped in. The devil going to work and work and work. Either it's one of two things. The devil then worked and caused trouble until we separated, or we were together and just realized that we ain't the best for each other. Whichever situation, she was good when I stepped in. I want to make sure she's good when I leave. I want to make sure that for all of this stuff, this is still my sister. Whether you want to say my sister in the human race, or whether you want to say sister in faith, which is what I would say. And if we have children, this is still the mother of my children.
Sister in Alabama.
Sister what?
Yeah. Or she's my sister in Alabama.
No.
You get it?
No.
They joke about like people in Alabama like getting with their cousins.
Oh God. Yeah, it's not just in Alabama, that's the reason, but yeah. Yeah, my point is cousins. Yeah, I ain't gonna say sister because that's just terrible. But
The culture in America that cousins shouldn't get married.
I think it's stupid. I think cousins should get married, actually, on the flip side, because of the fact that it's blood relations and is a marriage relation of love and it's blood relations. So you're gonna take care of two things at once. So I think cousins should get married. As a matter of fact, I encourage cousins to get married because everybody gonna take care of everybody there because you're all family. Okay. So that's what I think. You ain't gonna have the in-law problems most of the time if it's a cousin. But that's my opinion. But whatever the situation is, so like you said, whether it's by spiritual, this is your sister, whether it's by relations, blood relations, this is my distant cousin or whatever. This is my second cousin, as we say, or my cousin twice removed. Whatever the situation is, when you step away in a good way. Now, why do I say that? I've sat down. I used to do marriage counseling. I sit down with person after person after person. And the ones that we were able to agree and make a contract amongst ourselves and sign that contract amongst ourselves, they had better situations and better lives as long as they lived by their contract without going to court. On the flip side, and I've done this half my life, the ones that go to court, they drag that man through court in order to get support, and they don't get support anyway. The support ends up going some kind of way to the government, and they'll get some, especially if they're on welfare, and they get the little stipend that they get twice a month of some little monetary gain, and they get food stamps and they get insurance, and they don't see that support like that anyway. Okay, so you put the government all in there, and now if the man don't pay the support, they'll come and take the man. I known people that was dear to me, but when they came into marriage, into Islam, they came into Islam. Older people, they came to Islam and they had other things connected to them. They had to this and that and whatever the situation was. But the point is, they'll take this man and lock this man up. This particular man I'm talking about, they came and locked him up. He was a plumber. He did work for his plumbing for a living. He took care of the situations the best of his ability, but there were certain seasons where it just wasn't a lot of money. They came, locked this man up, and then told him he had to pay whatever support he had on. And all I thought in my head, I was a young guy. I was like in my teens, and I thought, well, how the brother going to pay the support if he's locked up? How can he be? And my father told me he got to get in touch with his mother, cousin, whatever. That's the reason why we raising some money for him. So you take somebody through all of this because the court system, when if you guys sit down and agree to something and have witnesses and agree on terms of, okay, we have this many children, this is what I make, boom, boom, I want to make sure I take care of this at least every month. The woman agrees, and y'all make sure, and as a result, we're going to make sure that we do co-parenting, so sometime they'll be here with me, sometime they'll be with her, and all that. Y'all can agree on all of that. I've done it many times without going through the court system and all this expensive crap, okay? So marriage shouldn't be difficult. And divorce shouldn't be difficult. It should be natural processes in life, but the devil gets in and makes things really difficult. And I don't even mean the devil through the government. I mean the devil setting up things through the government, and then the devil through people, until everybody looks at it a bad way. Your process or your perspective on marriage has to change in order for it to be a blessed thing. All right, number 4.
4, feelings change. That spark y'all had in the beginning when y'all first started dating, that shit gonna die out. I'm telling you, do you know how hard it is to keep that spark from the honeymoon phase? Extremely difficult. You see each other every day, every night. You run out of shit to talk about. Spark gone, shit boring.
All right, number 4. Number 1, the spark doesn't have to go. But if it goes, welcome to real life, okay? I remember my mother telling me, because I've been married 17, 18 years now, 18 years now. And the craziest thing is the marriage before that was for 12 years. Okay, so the point is that marriage is supposed to have some time in it. I'm telling you this from experience, okay? So this is the thing, is in the beginning of our marriage, I was a young boy like him, and things started getting interesting. And so I'm like, yo, things is difficult, it's hard. And my mother said a statement to me I'll never forget. She said, it's hard, so what? That's marriage. She said, you thought you was going to be, everything was just going to be sweet. It's sweet to get you in a blessed situation, which is the blessing of matrimony. Then real life comes. She said, anybody should be able to go through the first 2.5, 3 years and everything is like flowers. If you can't do that, then you chose wrong. But after a few years, real life has to start hitting. That job has to you have to lose that job. You have the things that we was talking about, people commit suicide and familicide for. That's called real life. You got to lose that job. The woman going to start looking different because she started having your babies. So she got a little thicker and can't get the weight off. She deserved that. You should kiss her belly. You should be kissing her belly, kissing her C-section wounds because of the fact that your baby came out of there. But she don't look the same. Michelle, it was some problem, this and that. What were you, a baby? The spark is to get you into the relationship. Once you in, you got to build foundations and then build on that until you build skyscrapers by doing things of love. In Islam, you get blessing. One of the things you get blessing for is spending time with your wife. You literally get written blessing for that. And in Islam, we can't lie about nothing. But the only time when you can bend the truth a little bit is a situation where a spouse is talking to where a person is talking to their spouse, and they'll say something like, she might be feeling bad about, for example, she got a C-section. She ain't never want a C-section. Look at my stomach, look like that. And you bend down and you kiss her stomach. And you mean it sincerely, but you say something real sly like, girl, your stomach is more beautiful now than it was before. Before you had some little baby stomach that never been through anything. You got a stomach now that shows that you have my children. You think I won't love you forever for that? Say some little slice and slick stuff like that, and they gonna think like, whoa. And after that, they don't feel shy showing you this stomach. They walk around the house and you see her stomach. It should be exactly what you said, but even if it's not, that's the type of thing that you say because of the fact that it's like, yo, I don't want her feeling like she got to wear clothes around the house or, covering stuff all the time or whatever because she's shy about her stomach. My point is that you go out your way to build those foundations. Y'all go through something. First thing she might think of is, but he loved me for the way that I am. He loved me for having his children. He loved me, and that softens things. That makes her put her little hands in yours and say, let's work this out. And opposed to like, yo, I'm sick of this. So my point is like, you got to think like a young man. Then you got to think like an older man. You got to think like a man, not some male with a bunch of desires that you just want to run and hit this, and that. Because if you go that way, how does it turn out? Either it's going to be that you hitting this and hitting that and hitting that and boring. That's boring. Or you looking to settle down with something, and once you settle down, you going through all the steps of marriage anyway, except you get no blessing. So the children come out unblessed. Every time you lay down with the person is not blessed. The devil, we say that if it's two people that are not married and they're with each other, then the devil's the third party. And I literally mean the devil's the third party. Did you guys see something I saw when I was a young kid? What was it called? Rosemary's Baby? To me, when I saw Rosemary's Baby, I saw it when I was a young kid and it was just terrifying. But when I think about it now, I think that was literally the visual representation of what's happening every time somebody lays down with a woman that's not married to him. When she looked up in the eyes of that man or whatever, and she saw the devil in his eyes, and she was like, oh, whatever the situation was, that's literally how it is. When you lay down with someone that's not related, that you're not in a bond of marriage with, the devil is your third party. That's what's going on. And people, they say, it was funny before we was married. Why the hell you think it was funny? Because the devil was in the mix. Now, when you get married, you got to deal with realities. You got married and you actually put the blessing on it. But now it's different, ain't it? It's different. It's real now. But that's because it's a different type of love. This love is stronger, the marriage one. But because you got so used to that crap, it's like when you drink wine. You love wine. You drink some milk. I don't want no milk. I want wine. But then if you realize it, that wine is a charm for me. This milk is good and pure. Or pure juice or whatever you want to use. So my point is that it's about your perspective. It's about your mind frame. It's about the condition of your heart and the condition of your soul.
Number 5, I don't need a ring to love you. I love you with the ring or without the ring. If we live together and we paying bills, why we gotta get married? For what? Why we need a piece of paper to tell us what we doing? I don't get it. We cooking, we cleaning, we arguing, we doing everything a married couple's doing. What's gonna change if we get married? We're gonna be doing the same shit with a piece of paper. Real shit.
So I think I covered it already. The difference is the things that you do that's blessed, you get blessing for it in the bonds of marriage. And the difficulties you go through, you got the blessing that God to help you figure it out. On the other side, when you're going through difficulty, you brought on yourself. And even when you're going through what you think is nice and fun, you're still getting sin written down because you didn't do it in the proper bonds of marriage. So that's the difference. But it's about mind frame and perspective. And like I said, I don't blame the young brother. He's young. You can see he's young. But he's going through generational damage, okay, generational trauma. And so old people didn't told him this stuff. He's trying to figure it out for himself. Ain't nobody told him the reason for the scriptures, okay? And the scriptures in the Quran, it explains that the devil, he plans to share with you in your wealth and in your children, okay? He shares with you in your wealth by making you either get wealth from illegal sources or getting wealth from legal sources, but then using it for illegal things. And he shares with you in your children by you not getting married. So you have children outside of marriage. You're literally giving Shaitan or giving the devil prospects for his army. Okay. Now, I don't mean to turn out like that. Plenty of people, they turn out to be good. They just go through some difficulties and they turn out to be good. But do you want that lack of blessing, lack of protection on your child? If you just think before and decide I'm going to marry to make sure that he has as much protection as possible, the best thing you can do as a parent is to choose a proper spouse and get married. All right. That's all I had to say about that.